Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isubk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're...
All right. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Barakathum to all the Akim out there, and Yahweh Shamar Alathum Bahashim Yahweh Shah to all the Akwathian out there. This is the Lashawan Qadash class. This is the culminating class review from day one. We're going to go through everything. If you're at home, go ahead and make sure you follow along, get your notes out. So we're going to go over everything tonight, what we've learned since day one, since Baltimore has started. And so we're going to, just have some fun tonight. If you're at home, please make sure that you get your notebooks out, get all the reviews out, because we're going to try to go over everything that we can. All right, so let's get started. First, if you're at home, we're going to do a quick warm-up. We'll do the warm-up, which is the alphabet, and then I'll give people some time to think about when I ask questions about the alphabet. But let's just go through the alphabet. Okay, if you're at home, let's go through it. A, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za. Ha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa. I, pa, ta, za, qua, ra, sha, tha. All right? So that's the alphabet. So we talked about the alphabet, each of the words in the alphabet when we first started has a meaning to them. Each of them means something. We'll do the review to this at home. I'll give you 30 seconds. But if you remember, we went over the word ah, and ah comes from the word alap, which means leader or strength. That's why when Commander General Hunter, one of the generals, would say alawap, panya, that's like face the strength or face the highest ranking officer. Then we had ba. Ba comes from the word bayath, which means house or family or tent, something like that, body. Okay, that's what bayath means. It really just means house. Then we have ga. Ga comes from the word camel, gamal. Okay, that's where ga comes from. Then we have da. Da comes from the word dalath, which is door. All right, after that we have ha. Ha, which means comes from the word pretty much like hana, which means like to behold, to look at something. And we have wa after that. Wa comes from the word wawa, means like hook or join. The next, we have za. Za comes from the word like zayan, which means like weapon. Then we have ha, and that word comes from the word chaf. Cha'af, it's like chaf, which means like fence, to protect. Then you have ta, okay, and that pretty much means like to surround, okay, like to surround something. All right, and then after that, what do we have after that? We have after that we have Salaki here. Ya. Okay, ya comes from the word yad, which means hands or hand, pretty much. And then ka is the next one. Ka comes from the word kapa, which means the palm of your hand. Okay, and then after that, it's a la. La comes from the word like pretty much like lamad. All right, when you it's like to learn something. Okay. Then you have ma. Ma is an easy one to remember because that comes from the word mayam, which is like water in Hebrew. Then you have na. Na is like comes from like the word like offspring. All right. The next one is sa. Sa comes from like the word samat, which is like support. Okay. After that, it's I. I comes from the word like ayan, which means I. Then you have pa. Pa comes from the word, your mouth. It really means your mouth when you're speaking. Okay. And finally, we got I pa taza. You go taza. Kind of just means like the side of something. And then you have ra. Ra comes from the word ra'ash. Okay, like ra'ash, like the head of something. Ra'ash. Okay. After that, you have the word sha. Sha comes from the word like shun, like tooth or teeth. Okay. And the last one is tha. Tha comes from the word thawa, like means like sign or covenant. All right. Oh, I don't know if I said qua. I might have skipped qua, Salaki on that. Qua, that's right before ra. Qua they come from the word like quawat, which means like horizon. Okay, or quam, like to rise. Think about the sun setting on the horizon. All right, so that's the alphabet. That was a quick review. We went over everything. All right. So that's when we first started. We learned our alphabet. We learned everything that was in the alphabet, what each and everything meant. Now let's go to the greetings. Do y'all remember when we had the greetings when we first started? Okay. Well, one of the first ways to greet somebody is first, like if a brother is greeting another brother, we would say Yahweh, which means the Most High, Bahashim, in the name of, Yahweh Shai, which is the Savior, Barak, bless, Atha, you. Okay, that's how a brother would greet another brother. We went over that when we first started. So we would say Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Atha. Now, if there's more than one brother and you're trying to greet them, remember what we would say? Okay, remember what we say? We would say Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Atha. All right, that's a brother greeting a group of, more than one brother. All right, but if it's a brother greeting a sister, we have a way to say that. Let's review. Remember, we would say Yahweh, which means the Most High, Shamar, which is like, to watch. Yahweh, Shamar, Al, over, Atha, the Most High watch over you, Bahashim, in the name, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, which means in the name of the Savior. Okay, and that's what we would do when we would greet a sister. If my brother was greeting a sister, okay. But if it's a brother greeting a group of sisters, he would say the same thing. It's just he would, add the plural word to it. So it'd be Yahweh Shamar Alathan, A-M-A-N, okay. Think of N for like Naima, okay. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, same thing, just a group. All right, and then the sisters will greet the brother the same way back. Yahweh Shamar Alatham. That's the only difference. If it's one guy, it's Alatha. But if it's two or more men, then it'll be Alatham. Think of M for men by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so that's the greetings. We went over that. That was a review. Remember this week we said we would just review everything that we learned before we go to our next unit. We also talked about when you greet somebody, when you're coming into their house, or when you first see somebody. When we learn English, when we greet somebody, we always say, like, what's up? Like, what's up? How's it going? How's everything? Well, we did that. We learned the Hebrew way to say that. Okay, after you've greeted somebody with the Hebrew greeting, then you want to ask them, what's going on with you? How's everything? And we learned that. It was the words ma, which means what? Shalom. Shalom means peace. Ka, when it means pretty much, what is your peace? Okay, what is your peace like? Ma shalom ka. That means, that pretty much means, how you doing? What's going on with you? Ma shalom ka. We talked about that. And the ka at the end, we learned in Hebrew that the possessive word, the ka, comes at the end, and that shows the possessive. So we're saying, what is your peace? But the your is coming at the end. Okay. So ma means what? Shalom means peace. Ka means your or of you. I always think of what's the peace of you? What's going on with your peace? Okay, so ma shalom ka. What is your peace like? Okay, and then you could respond back by saying, shalom ya. So now instead of saying the ya at the end is saying my. Shalom ya, my peace is, and then you say, Shalom ya tawab, my peace is good. Okay, you can say Shalom ya tawab, peace is good. Okay, that's a way to do it. It's a way to respond. Okay, or you could say, what else could you say? You could say, just say tawab. Just say tawab. They say, well, ma shalomka, tawab, I'm good. Or you could say anya tawab. Anya means I'm. So you can say anya tawab, I'm good. Or you could say you're not good. You could say anya la'a tawab. Okay? Anya la'a tawab. I'm no good. I'm not good. Okay? Different things like that. It's just a way to greet somebody, find out a little bit more of what's going on with them. But you would say, ma shalomka, anya tawab, anya la'a tawab. I'm not good. Okay? All right? So remember, the possessive comes at the end. We've learned about this. This is just all review. Okay? But let's just say usually when you ask somebody how they're doing, then you go to their family. Okay? You ask about how their family's doing. So let's just say, you wanted to ask them about their mother. Okay? Or their father. Let's start with father first. Okay? And, in Hebrew, Abba is father. So we go, so Abba is father. And then if we wanted to say possessive, we wanted to say your father or father of you, because remember, ka comes at the end. Ka, when it comes at the end of the word, is the possessive. So it could be your of or of you. So you could say Abba ka, father of you, or your father. Abba ka. Then you could say ma shalom wa. Okay? What's the peace of him, or what's his peace? Okay, the wa at the end means his peace or peace of him. Ma shalom wa. What is his peace? Ma shalom wa. And then you tell them what your father's peace is. You could say Abba Tawab. You could say Abba Ya, my father, Tawab. Okay? Or you could say, Shalom wa, his peace, Tawab. Shalom wa Tawab, his peace is good. Okay? Shalom wa Tawab. This is all review. Okay? We want to go all through the review so that we can understand everything that we're talking about when we get to the next phase. Okay? So that's one way we could do it. But what if it's a sister or a mother? What if it's your mother? Okay? Abba in Hebrew is father. Amma is mother. That's where we get the word ma from. We get it from the Hebrew amma. Okay? And so what if we said amma ka, mother of you, or your mother? Ma shalom ha. So now we're saying, what is her peace? Okay? Ha. So we kind of get the word her from. Ha. Ma shalom ha. What is her peace? And then you can answer different ways. You could say shalom ha, her peace, tawab. Shalom ha, her peace, la'a tawab. Same thing. You could just say amma tawab. Okay, amma tawab. Or you can just say tawab. Different ways you can answer that. Okay. So if it's a male, or when we're saying him, we say, or his something, or him, we have a wa at the end of it. If it's a her, it's a ha. Okay. So if it's a male, shalom wa, what is his peace? Female, shalom ha. Okay. So it's just different things you want to remember in the greetings. You greet, you want people to remember that. All right. So we went over the greetings. Okay. And you could use different words to greet. You can talk about the mother, Amma, father, Abba. What if it's the son? Bun is son. So you could say Bunka, your son. Same thing. Ma shalom wa. What is his peace? Okay, and then you could say Bunya, my son, Tawab. Bunya Tawab, my son's Tawab. Okay, if it's the daughter, daughter is Bath. Okay, so Bathka, your daughter, Mashalam Ha. What is her peace? Okay, you can say Bathya Tawab, my daughter's Tawab. Different ways. Son Bun, daughter Bath, father Abba, mother Amma. These are all things that you could do, and you could keep going and going and going. Okay? Review how to greet people. How's everything going? And then you talk, I'm good. So and then you go add some different things in there. So we learned about the greeting. And then what we talked about after greeting about eating. We talked about food. Okay? We talked about how to eat and what to do and how to ask for it. So we'll go back to that. We'll go back to what do we say when we want to eat, like sitting and eating. First of all, usually when people are coming to the house, we tell them, come in, sit down, whatever, we're talking. But then we always tell people to come to the table. Okay? Come in Hebrew is ba'ah. Ba'ah, come to the table. Aha shalachan. Okay? Al is to, ha is the in Hebrew. Ha shalachan. Come to the table. Ba'a al ha shalachan. Come to the table. Okay? And what do we usually say? When people come to the table, what do we say? Sit and eat. Okay? Sit. It's like Shabbat, which where we get the word yeshab from. That's why if you look at the Sabbath service, we say yeshab. It means like to return. Okay? Dwell, return, dwell, sit. Okay? So we're saying Shabbat wa akala. Sit and eat. So that would be Shabbat wa akala. Sit and eat. Sit down, eat. Enjoy yourself, relax. Okay? And that's what we would do. Ba'a'aha shalachan, Shabbat wa akala. Come to the table, sit and eat. That's what we would say. Okay? Now, when somebody's at the table, what do we say? They're sitting at the table, they're about to enjoy a meal, and what do you say? Okay? Usually, if you're the host, you say what? What is your want? Ma chasar ka. Ma chasar ka. There's that word ma again. Okay? Ma means what in Hebrew. Ma chasar. Chasar means once. Ma chasar ka. Ka again. You see that word ka. It's at the end. What is your want? Ma chasar ka. Okay? That's what you'll ask when people are saying, what do you want? Okay? What do you want? What food do you want? And then they'll say, okay, I want. Okay, remember we talked about there's two different ways to say I want in Hebrew. One is to just say awa, I want. Another way to say it is kasar ya, which is my want is. Okay, so you can say awa, I want, kasar ya, my want is. And then we go through. Okay, you go through to say what you want. Okay, my want is drink, or I want drink. You could say that. Awa shata, I want drink. Okay, awa shata, or makasarya shata, I want drink. And if somebody says they want something to drink, then you go through and you ask what drinks do they want. Okay, you can ask them what drink. Ma shata, what drink? Okay, ma shata, what drink do you want? Okay, so you can ask them. And then there's different drinks. We talked about the drinks. Let's go over our drinks that we went through. You say, ma shata, what drink? And then you list the drinks. You could say, we have mayam. Mayam is what? Water. Isayas. We have isayas is what? Juice. Okay? Juice or sweet wine. We have wine. Yayan. So these are things you tell them. This is what we have. This is what's on the menu. Okay? Or we have. Some people have strong drink. Shakar. You tell them that this is what we have. Shakar, strong drink. So these are things that you can tell them that we have. Okay? If there's a smaller child, you could say we have halab, milk. Okay, go through them. These are the things that you would tell people that you have. These are the drinks. Okay, and then somebody might say, I want makasarka, or I'm sorry, makasarya. My want is lacham, food. I want food. Awa lacham. I want food. Or really, it's like I'm hungry. Awa lacham. Okay, what do you want? Okay, mach lacham. What food? Okay, what food do you want? Ma lacham. Okay. And so you go through, la lacham kasarka. What food is your want? What food is your want? Ma lacham kasarka. What food is your want? And then you go through the foods. And you tell them, what you have. Okay, you could say, we have what? Lamb or sheep, really much. Qadash. Okay, we have beef, shawar. We have chicken, iwap. Go through the foods. Okay, we have fish, dog. Go through the foods that you have. Okay, we have vegetables, salads, pretty much all the vegetables you think. Ishab or ishabium, if it's plural. Go through all the foods. Okay, go through all the foods. Okay, maybe you have some fruits. We have parium, fruits. Go through some fruits. Apple, tapawak. We have melon, watermelon, abatakium. We have grapes, ainab. Go through all of them. Right? Go through all of them. If you want to get a little bit more specific, maybe they're maybe they want a salad, or you're making some vegetables, put them all together. Ask them what they want in the salad. Okay, you say, do you want an onion? Okay, do you want tha'awa? Tha'awa means do you want tha'awa, onion, batazal? Okay, ask them what they want in there. Okay, ask them what's some things they want in their food. Ask them. Okay, ask them they want, and they'll tell you. Could be some different things that they say they want in their salad or in their fruit. You tell them. Okay, tha'awa, do you want olives? Zayaf. They want olives. They'll say awa, I want olives. Ta'awa, cucumber. Kwasha'a. It's another one. Do you want, beans? Pawal. I can't eat beans, but some people might want beans. Okay, tha'awa, pawal. These are different things that they could say that they want. Okay, maybe they want some herbs and spices. You want salt on that? Ta'awa, salt. Ta'awa, malak. That's salt. Okay, you want to test them. Maybe they have some cakes, like pancakes. You say, tha'awa, honey or syrup. Tha'awa, dabash. Okay, it's another thing. People are going to tell you what they want. Okay, and so you tell them, and you do it in the Hebrew. Okay, so we went over that. These are just things we went over. And there's a lot of other things, some fruits and vegetables that we'll go over as we move along. But we want to just make sure that you understand the basics. We want people to understand the basics to the Hebrew. We said we would go over everything so we can move on to our next unit, because the next unit we're going to build off of. We're going to be more conversational. That's what we said. We said we would be more conversational in the Hebrew. Okay? All right? And so that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so we'll be getting prepared to be more conversational. Okay, so let's move on a little bit. We're going to move on, and we're going to see. Let me see. Let me make sure to see if anybody made any comments or anything like that. Okay, just want to see if anybody made any comments. Okay, I don't think I see any comments. Okay, we just want to make sure, but make sure you have you get this stuff down. Now, let's go over our numbers. We said we go over the numbers as well. Let's go over our numbers. Okay. We'll go over them. We'll just do 1 through 10. Remember, if you could do 1 through 9 or pretty much 1 through 10, you can count to 100 in Hebrew. Okay. 1, Achad. 2, Shunya. 3, Shalash. 4, Arabai. 5, Chamash. Chamash. Slacky, I want to make sure we have that Cha in there. 6, Shasha. 7, Shabai. 8, Shemawana. 9, Thashai. 10, Aishara. Here we go. All right. Now, if you wanted to keep going, okay, you just keep doing what you did and just add in what we just keep going. So 10 is Aishara. So 11 would be Achad Aishara. 1 and 10. Achad, 1, Aishara, 10. Achad Aishara. Okay. You wanted to do 12. Shunya Aishara. 2, 10, and 10. Shunya Aishara. Okay. 13. Shalash Aishara. 14. Arabai Aishara. 15. Chamash Aishara. 16. Shasha Aishara. 17. Shabai Aishara. 18. Shemawana Aishara. 19. Thashai Aishara. 20. And then you would say Aishara Yum. Yum at the end makes it plural. It's like 2 10s. And then if you wanted to say 21, Achad Aishara Yum. 22. Shunya Aishara Yum. 23. Shalash Aishara Yum. So it's 3 and 20. Okay. 4. Arabai Aishara Yum. Same thing. 25. Chamash Aishara Yum. 26. Shasha Aishara Yum. 27. Shabai Aishara Yum. 28. Shemawana Aishara Yum. 29. Thashai Aishara Yum. Okay. 30. Now 30 is, you would just do Shalash Yum. Okay. Shalash Yum. You're making that 3 Shalash plural. Okay. That Yum kind of is like putting a 10 there. Okay. And that's what we were doing. That's what we would do. All right. So that's how it's done. And then if I wanted to do 40, take 4 and put a Yum at the end of it. 40, Arabai Yum. 50, Chamash Yum. 60, Shashayam. 70, Shabayam. 80, Shemawanayam. 90, Thashayam. 100, Ma'ah. That's it. Right? That's it. All right? So we did that. And then me creative. You can count by 2s. Shunya, Arabai, Shasha, Shemawana, Aishara. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. Shunya, 2, Arabai, 4, Shasha, 6, 8, Shemawana, 10, Aishara. Then keep going. 12. Shunya Aishara. Okay. 14. Arabai Aishara. Slakia. Aishara. You just keep going. Count by 2s. Then you can count by 5s. Kamash. Aishara. Okay. 5, 10. Kamash Aishara. 20. What's 20? You can say Aishara Yum. 25. Kamash Aishara Yum. 30. Shalashim. 35. Kamash Shalashim. You can keep going. Count by 5s. Make it creative. Get your children to do that. Get your children to learn this Hebrew. So we learned that. Then we did some math. Remember, we learned how to do some math in Hebrew. Okay, we learned how to do the math. We learned how to do, we're doing adding. All right. So remember we said we would say the number, yasat, number, bara'ah. Remember, yasat means to add, bara'ah means to create. So we would say number, yasat, number, creates the answer. So we would do something like this. Remember, akad, yasat, akad, bara'ah. Okay? Akad, yasat, akad, bara'ah, shanya. 1 add 1 creates 2. Okay, you can keep going. Shanya, yasat, shanya, bara'ah, arabai. 2 add 2 creates 4. And you just keep going. Okay, you just keep going and you'll get it. Okay, you'll get it. Okay, so these are just things that we went over. We went over all of this because we want your children to know the Hebrew. We want you to start speaking the Hebrew. Okay? Let me just text this person like you. All right? So we want to do that. We want to know the Hebrew. We want to speak. We want to do numbers. All right? We did bathroom manners. Talked about the bathroom. Remember the bathroom manners. Does anybody remember that? Okay? Remember what we talked about with the bathroom. Okay? We don't necessarily have a word for bathroom in Hebrew, as far as I know, but we do have toilet. You want to teach your children, tell them to say, I want to go to the bathroom. I need to go, whatever, potty, whatever. You know how children say. Okay, but you want to say this because you'll be saying, you could say, awa. Awa means I want again. Yalak. Yalak means to go. Ow, to. And then toilet is kadarya labash. I want to go to the toilet. Awa yalak al kadarya labash. I want to go to the toilet. All right. And then you say, yalak, go. Go. Okay. Some of them you might have to teach them. Sometimes they'll just say, I want to go pee. Just say, awa shatayan. Want to pee. Awa shatayan. Okay. What if it's, I need to go number 2? It's awa parash. Okay. Awa parash. I need to go number 2. Okay. This is just all a review. Okay. Then you could say, when they're going to the bathroom, tell them, wash your hands. Okay. Wash in Hebrew, rakataza. Rakataza, hands. Hands is yad yum. If you want to say your hands, yad yum ka or yad yaka. Rakataza yad yaka, wash your hands. We learned about that. Rakataza yad yaka, wash your hands. All right. This is just all review. Okay. When they come out the bathroom, say the same thing. Instead, you ask in the word of a question. Usually when the child comes up, did you wash your hands? That's what you could say. Ha'im rakatazatha yadyaka. Did you wash your hands? Ha'im rakatazatha yadyaka. Did you wash your hands? And they can say, Khan. I wash my hands. They can say that, or la'ah. I did not. Okay. So, you can, it's different ways that they could say, different things they could say. But this is just all review. The point of all this is we want to get better and we want to get more fluent in the Hebrew and we want to start speaking the Hebrew. This was just a review tonight of pretty much us going through everything that we've learned so far. So we've gone through the numbers. We've gone through table manners. We've gone through how to greet people. We've gone through conversational starters. All right. The next unit that we're going to go through, we're going to get into a little bit of learning about different animals. Okay. Learning about different animals. We're going to also go to talking about certain days of the week. Okay. In Hebrew, they didn't have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're going to get into the just the days, just like in Genesis. It just says first day, second day. And that's what we're going to be. That's going to be our days of the week in Hebrew. First day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, seventh day. So we're going to get into the days of the week. We'll also get into the months. Okay. They didn't have, January, February. A lot of that stuff came from Babylon. We just have first month, second month, and that's how we're going to do it. First month, second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month, sixth month, seventh month. Okay, that's how we're going to do our months. That's how we're going to do our days of the week. So we'll go over the months, days of the week, and we're going to this is just a preview of some things. Okay, we'll go over certain feast days. Okay, we'll learn about the certain feast days and how to say them, and people should, you should know what to say for each. All right, so there's one thing I didn't go over that we can go over tonight, because I always want you to learn something new. People learn in threes, but we'll learn a couple more things tonight. Got a few minutes left. We went over drinks and stuff like that, but we never really went over other things like cups, plates, and stuff like that. So let's talk about that. You say, I want a plate or I want a cup. Okay, so let's go over that. I want ice. I think we did talk about ice, but I don't think we talked about it tonight. I want ice. Ice in Hebrew is quarak. I want ice. Okay, I want ice. Okay, I want quarak. If you want, I want ice in cup. Okay, I want ice in cup. So what's cup in Hebrew? Kawas. Awa korak ba kawas. Ba is an important word in Hebrew because it can mean in, on, with. Okay, so in this context, it's in. Awa korak ba in kawas. I want ice in cup. Okay, now if you want to say my cup, then you just say kawas ya. Okay, remember, the ya at the end means me or my. Okay, so you just put it all together. I want ice in my cup, You could say, awa korak, I want ice, awa korak, ba in kawasya, want ice in my cup. Okay, kawasya. Okay, remember, awa means I want. If you want to say you want, do you want, you could say tha'awa. You want tha'awa korak? Tha'awa, you want ice? Tha'awa korak? Ba in kawas, cup. And then if you say your cup, it'd be kawas ka. So tha'awa korak, ba kawas ka in your cup. You want ice in your cup? Tha'awa. So that's the way to say it. Do you want ice in your cup? Okay. Oh, we also talked about when you ask somebody to do me a favor. Be like, hey, do me a favor. Daya bakwash. Okay. Daya bakwash. Do me favor. Bakwash. Da means do. Ya means me again. Bakwash. Do me a favor. Okay. And then you could say, give me or go get me. Give me in Hebrew is Nathan. Nathan is give. Nathanya, give me. Okay, a cup. Go get me. Nathanya, kawas. Cup. Ba korak with ice. Okay, give me a cup with ice. Give me a cup of ice. Okay, Nathanya, kawas, ba korak. Give me a cup of ice. All right. Different ways you could say it. Just speak it. We'll do the corrections later. I have to speak it, and I'll be corrected. Just speak it. Okay, just speak the Hebrew. Okay, so you want something, give me something. Nathanya, give me this, or I want this. So we didn't go over a couple things. So remember, korak is ice, kawas is cup. All right. What about plate? Okay, plate really is in Hebrew, it's dish, but we'll take it for right now. Plate and dish. Qua'ira. Nathanya, qua'ira. Give me plate. Qua'ira. Really, it's give me dish. Qua'ira. Pretty much. Qua'ira. Give me a dish. Okay? Give me a dish. Okay, so that's what you can do. Okay? Give me a dish. Qua'ira. All right? So that's one thing you could do. All right? What about fork? What's fork in Hebrew? It's fork. Fork is mazalag. I want a special thanks to Officer Mataza in Virginia, because he's the one that were helping me with these words. So the water also Mataza and Officer Yagadar. Those are some great, excellent brothers in Virginia who were helping me with these words. So the water to them. Let's give them a hand. All right. So, Nathanya, fork, mazalag. Fork, mazalag. What about spoon? Nathanya makap, spoon. Okay, makap, spoon. Nathanya makap. What about knife? Sakayan. Okay, so you got fork, mazalag, spoon, makap, knife, sakayan. Those are the three things. Give me a fork, knife, and a spoon. Nathanya, mazalag, makap, sakayan. Give me a fork, a spoon, and a knife. Okay, once again. Nathanya, give me a fork, mazalag, a spoon, makap, knife, sakayan. Okay, you want to say and in there, wa'ath, or wa. Depends how you want to say it. So those are things that you need to know. Okay, so those are some excellent things that you need to know when it comes to table manners. You want to know these things, okay? You want to know these things because, like I said, you got to speak the Hebrew so that we can get it. That's the only way we're going to get it is if we speak it. That's the only way we're going to get it. All right? So there was a couple more things I wanted us to look at. Let's see if I can pull it. Let me see. I might cannot pull it tonight, but there's a couple other things that I wanted us to talk about. But we might have to save that for a later date. Let me see. Okay. Let me. Marayath. I think I'm saying that right. Marayath. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Okay, well, we'll check over that. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Let me see. Mapayath. Let me check for 1 second. Makap. So that'd be Mapayath. Okay, I'm saying just want to make sure I got it right. Okay, one more thing I have in my notes here is napkin. That's another thing you might want to know is napkin. It's Mapayath. Okay, Mapayath is napkin. Okay, so fork, mazalag, spoon, makap, knife, sakayan, napkin, Mapayath. Mapayath is napkin. All right, so we went over a couple new things tonight. We want to just learn as we keep going so we can get better in the Hebrew. We want to get better in the Hebrew, and that's what we're doing. But the best way to get better is just to speak it. Just start speaking and let the chips fall where they are. I mean, as long as we're speaking it, we'll get better because one or two things is going to happen. Either you'll just get corrected and say, no, you say it like this, or you'll just be saying it correctly and people will just become conversational. The goal of this class is for us to be conversational. All right. So we went over everything today that we've learned so far. This is I think this is about class number 15 in these next 15 classes. So we'll do things by 15s. And so we finally ended our first unit. Those that have been tuning in, great job. What you want to do is you want to start speaking the Hebrew, especially when you go to the feast days and all the Akim are gathered together. Speak to each other in the Hebrew, test each other. Test me. I'll be like, oh man, what is that word? What is that word? Okay. And it gets people to think and forces them to speak back. That's how you learn a language. You just immerse yourself with it, speak it, have it around, label. Put some labels around your house. Put on the table. Shalachan, put it on the table. Qua'ira. Put that, on the dish near like the dish thing. Qua'ira. And put that stuff around. And with that, we're the ISBK coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're going to end it there as far as the Hebrew class for the night. I just want to say Thawada to everybody and Shalom.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man, if you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please go to isubk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West.